Hello and welcome to the Art Hitman. I'm Perry McCants and today I'm going to show you how to draw Luke Cage from the Netflix series. Alright, so let's go ahead and divide our page in half, top to bottom with a vertical line. And please help me get 50 likes and 30 comments for these how to draw videos. Now let's immediately go ahead and put his head in, starting with a nice size oval shape. This drawing is going to be waist high. So immediately once after we get his head shape in, you want to go ahead and put the base of his neck in with an oval shape after that. Let's go ahead and measure his head with our index and thumb. 1 for his chest. And then 2 is going to be for his waist, where his waist is going to be. And then we can go ahead and put the oval shape in for his torso, which is going to be off the bottom of the page. Immediately after that, after we get our right side in, let's come right underneath the base of the neckline here and put his shoulder line in, straight across like this, under this oval. Now we want to go ahead and put a circle in for his left arm or shoulder, and same thing for his right. And where we indicated this, where we measured the first part of his head, we can go ahead and put where his chest is going to be. And we're going to let the arms go right off the page. Just take a line off the page for both arms. All right, now let's go ahead and start on his head. So we want to have a line go straight across like this. And what I'm going to do is put an exterior box in for the temple line. This kind of helps deal with the proportions a little bit, and then put a line straight across the top like this. And then at the bottom, this triangular shape that goes within the head even things out proportion wise from like right to left. Now we'll go ahead and start with his facial features and start off with his eyebrows. Right off this temple line, I'm gonna go ahead and immediately start putting his eyebrows in. Of course, he has somewhat of a frown, is a slight frown. And he has more of a look of assurance, confidence. Do the same thing for his left side. Now with his eyes, he's squinting. So you want to put his eyes in and make sure that they're not open wide. So go ahead and put the top portion of his eyelid in. Do the same thing for his left side. Immediately after that, we're going to go ahead and put his iris in, which is the retina in the center of his eye. And then close the bottom up a little tight because he's squinting. Just like this. It's almost like he's trying to reflect or make sure that stuff doesn't fly into his eye or debris. All right. Now, there's going to be a triangular shape that I'll lightly put in from the bridge of his nose down to where their ear would be. And we'll put his nose line in here. Now, for his nose, we're going to go ahead and put his bridge in. We'll come straight down and then flare out just a little bit and do the same thing for his right side. And go ahead on and draw a small circle here. This will indicate his nostril or the front part of his nose. And then we'll be able to determine where the nostrils are going to be in place. So his nostrils are rounded. So we'll lightly put his nostrils in. So they're like little small arcs, not real big. Just like this, 2 arcs on the right side and the left side. And when you come in for his nostrils, you're just going to come straight across on that line that we put there indicating his nose. Come down in the center and then come back up again, just like that. Not a lot of detail, as simplistic as you can. And then do the other side of his bridge of his nose. Bring that down. Now we'll add a little bit of thickness to his eyebrow by just taking a pencil and doing what I'm doing and adding a few strokes in. Do the same thing for his right side. And then he has a bit of a frown line that comes up, so add a little bit of a line here and then come in and repeat that shape just like this. Now, underneath the eye, he has a frown line right here. So you want to just put that in on both sides. Such a minor detail. Now we're going to put where his lips are going to be. Put a line right, not too far underneath his nose, not too high, too close to the nose, not too low. It changes what his facial features are going to look like and make his mouth a little lower on the face or higher. So we want it right in the center here, just below the nose. I'm going to put his lips in. And just add a little bit of a curve, not too much, in the center. And then put the bottom of his lip in and bring it around. But don't connect the lines. If you notice, I did not connect the lines on his lips for a reason. We just want to keep it not connected because it makes it look almost like a coloring book when you connect everything. So we don't want to do that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a bit of facial feature here. We're going to add his mustache. We're going to lightly go ahead on and put the stroke of his mustache in by creating more than one line. And he has a goatee. It's just hair that goes around his entire mouth and his chin. Come down on his left side. And then he has a connector right underneath his lip and it goes down on his chin. So what you want to do is you want to come in, make this thick on the sides, and then just bring your pencil line around like this to the other side. And we'll go ahead and shade this part, the bottom part in. And just keep in mind as we're drawing Luke Cage, we're going for a likeness. This is not a portrait drawing. Just want to clarify for those who are doing the how to draw. This is just simply to get a likeness of what Luke Cage looks like. Okay, now we're going to start for the exterior of where his jaw is. So we're going to bring a line in from here and just bring it down and connect it to where his chin is. Go on his left side and repeat the same thing. Now we're going to come up right near his eyebrow. We're going to add his ear. I'm going to come in close as possible. He doesn't have huge ears, so we don't want his ears to be too big. So go ahead and sketch the ears in as close to his head as you possibly can. And we'll add detail to the ear a little bit later. Now, right at the top of his ear, you want to bring the top of his head in, come around, and notice where I had the square before is to kind of try and make his head as even as possible. So let's go ahead and sketch that in right within the square. And the way you measure that is you look and try and match the shapes within the square to bring the top of his head in. And then match this side with this ear. So you want the top of his head to kind of come around and go right into his ear. Now, we're gonna go ahead and add a temple line in here, come around to the side, and repeat this. And then for his forehead, you wanna come in just like this, just a little bit. And let's go ahead and color his iris in just a little bit. And then for his cheek, we're gonna bring in a little bit of detail. All right, so for his neck, we're not going to see much of his neck, but he is wearing a hoodie, so let's go ahead and bring that hoodie around to the front. There's a line that's going to come around right behind his chin here, or his jaw, and come right down like this. So you want to taper a shape and that comes down to a point right here. This is where the zipper line is going to come in, so put a little square here, and then somewhat of a triangular shape here. And the hoodie's going to wrap around the back of his head, so let's go ahead and put line in here and just connect it here, just like this. Bring it to a point and do the same thing for his left side. All right. Now, just underneath his jaw here, it's going to be a bit of a fold here with the hoodie. So we're going to bring another fold here and then another fold on his left side. And off of his shoulder, we're going to bring the rest of the hoodie in. Now for his arm, we're going to bring roundness to his arms because he's a muscular guy. So let's go ahead and bring his shoulders in. Bring it around just like this. And it's going to be indication of his chest. So we're going to bring an arc around like this and come into his body. And do the same thing on his left side. And we're going to put a zipper line for the center. So let's go ahead on and add another square here and then come down the center right here off the page. And this is a zipper line. And then we're going to put a line here for his chest and a line there. And we're going to continue with the shoulder blade line. Now because he's wearing a hoodie, parts of his arm is going to be baggy. He has material that's on his arm, so we're going to bring this curve around like this and just take it right off the page like this. And put a line in for the hoodie that goes into his chest area. And then there's going to be a flexion fold here. And then bring a line right down on the side for what he's wearing off the page. Repeat the same thing over here where his rib cage is and go right off the page. Now if you notice from the outside here, follow my pencil around, it's going to come straight across and it's going to go into his arm. And that's going to be a fold. And then there's going to be another one that goes off the page right here. And let's repeat the same thing over here. So the line is going to come up like this. And then it's going to come around his shoulders. And we're going to bring the rest of his arm in around like this. And there's going to be another one right here at the bend of his arm. The rest are going to go off the page. All right. Now in here, we're going to lightly just fill this in with some lead here because it's completely in shadow. We don't see this part too much. Now let's come back up to his ear. Only thing we're doing for his ear is bringing a line into the jaw, out and around, and put a line here. And repeat the same thing for his left side. And bring that line out like this. Now for the rest of the drawing, he's going to be riddled with bullet holes. So let's go ahead and with this part, I'll call it creative freedom. So you can follow exactly what I'm doing, or you can just go ahead and feel free to put marks wherever you want at this point, because what's going on right now in the drawing is that Luke Cage has a few bad guys that don't particularly care for him too much, who decides to shoot at him and put bullet holes all in his hoodie. And so let's go ahead on. If you notice, I'm using random shapes and this is more abstract. It's a good teaching tool for drawing. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you can just add little things on the side of it to make it look like material, or like the hoodie itself is tearing as the bullets are ripping through the hoodie and revealing his skin underneath. And so you can put a couple on each arm or however many bullet holes you want in the center. Now, after you've done that, you can go ahead and add some smoke lines here and do just like this. Smoke lines, you can just lightly put them in, have them varied. By varied, I just mean they could be different widths and shapes and sizes, but the smoke is indicating that they're bouncing off of him, and they're very hot. So what's happening is, as he's getting hit, they're causing smoke to come off of his body, as if they hit metal or anything else. And once it lands, it causes the bullets to absorb the heat, and then kind of you see smoke coming off of it. All right. Now, if you've drawn up to this point along with me, you've just completely drawn Luke Cage from the Netflix series. And I'm going to go ahead and clean it all up and add some detail to it. And at the end of it, if you want to, you can feel free to pause it and take a look at it and get some more points.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe by clicking this round button at the bottom. Also, click one of the 2 videos at the top. Please like this video, tell a friend, and share it on Facebook. Thank you.
The Art Hitman.